Let's do a quick sound check, guys. Sweet. We are good to go. Well, that was fun news. What have we got? Welcome, guys, to the second session of this tutorial. Now, I know I've kind of been away for 2 weeks, pretty much had school production, and I was kind of doing something else along with it. So, yeah, so kind of been pretty flat out, but however, considering the situation that we're in right now, there should be possibly quite a few tutorials coming through over the next kind of we've got about 3 tutorials, including today's one this week, and then we'll see how next week looks like. And I'm thinking that you guys should have plenty of time to get ready before the MCAT. Arjun, welcome. So basically, no, you're not too far behind, mate. You've still got about a month left. There's plenty of time to go through it with some of the stuff that I've posted on my channel, and also some of the what do you call it? Some of the tutorials that we end up going with as well. What I will do is I will post a link for you guys. This link has got all of my past tutorials. There we go. There's that link. Check out that link, and pretty much that should cover a lot of stuff that you guys actually missed out on, if you feel like you missed out on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with today's session. What we're going to be doing today mainly is, I'll actually say this, like, look, what I tend to do is I follow the same patterns of questions as I did last year. So basically, like I think last time, what did we do last week? Not last week, 2 weeks ago almost. Jeez, seems like a while ago. But this is what we did in our first session. We basically just covered a whole lot of exponent skills. So that's all we've done so far. And we did some questions that were kind of like merit level questions, just messing around with it. All right, so that's all we've done so far. So you can always go back and have a look at the tutorial, and yeah, go from there. All right, so let's go to the today's tutorial. So with today's tutorial, what I'm going to be working with is mainly I'm looking at quadratics, but what I'm going to be working with is perimeter and area with quadratics. So how this session is going to work out is I'm going to put up a question, and I'll get you guys to have a play around with it, try and work it out, and then we'll actually go through the answer. Okay. So what we're going to do is the first question I'm going to put up is nice and simple one to start the day. So what do we've got? We've got x, and we've got x plus 3. Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask you guys is find perimeter and area for this shape. Okay, and then the second question is I'm going to ask you guys is find x if area is, what should we do? Let's do 28. 28, yeah, so let's leave it at that. That's a very interesting question. Hang on, let's just have a look through some of these questions. Level 2 calculus and algebra. I don't know, Eric. Like, I mean, like, I know I did it during last year's lockdown. We ended up doing quite a bit of tutorials almost on a daily basis. I don't know how it's going to be, but you know, I need to check with my own schedule just to see. Well, it's not like I'm going to school, so I don't know, man. Maybe I'll end up doing it. Not sure. Hasnula, some of the questions we'll be working on today is generally going towards that. So every session, Hasnula, what I do is I kind of start off with some really simple questions, and then we kind of go through some of the harder questions towards the end of the stream anyway. So we will, but our main focus today is just perimeter and area with quadratics. Malika, in terms of taking notes, it's entirely up to you. All of these notes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link later on, which means you guys will be able to access all these notes at any given moment. I just haven't created the link yet. That's my bad. But I'll get it sorted and I'll put the link up on my on the description of the video. When is the next live stream? We'll be doing one on Thursday. That's for level 1, and we'll also be doing Sunday live stream for level 1. Greenland Shark. Why do I actually? I think I actually remember. I don't know if you remember attended any of the tutorials, but that name sounds very familiar. Don't hide, Sam. Just keep practicing away. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you guys another, 20, 25 seconds just to kind of go with these questions. I can tell you right now, like the first part of this question, finding the perimeter and area, generally tends to be like the achieved question. And part B of this question ends up being a merit. But even if you write the question, you could potentially get a achieved grade for it. So it's a really good idea, just even though the questions look hard, just try. You'd be surprised what you actually end up getting achieved for. Yeah, I thought it was a very unique name because I mean there are some names that kind of stick through. Greenland Shark, yeah, I remember. Hasnulla, my voice is absolutely shattered today because I've been talking pretty much the whole day. So I'm thinking about 45 minutes maybe, max. Fatima, can you teach cross multiplication for quadratics? Fatima, you could always just email me a question that you're trying to figure out. What I might do is I might actually do like a viewer question and just attach it later on. I'll just do like a quick answer of it, chuck in a video, and then so everybody else can have a look at their question as well. So if you do have a questions, guys, just chuck it up on, preferably on my email. I'll put it up there in the bottom corner there. So yeah, just check it out. But look, anyway, let's get going with this question because we've kind of been yapping away too much. Welcome back, Stella. Think back about these good times a couple of years ago, eh? See how easy things were. All right, so question 1. So the first question is asking us for perimeter. So if we are doing perimeter, then what we need to do is we actually need to work out the sides, the 4 sides. We need to actually add them up to get the perimeter. Now, looking at the shape is a rectangle, which means the bottom, if the bottom is x, the top of the rectangle is also going to be x. And if the right-hand side is x plus 3, then the left-hand side is also going to be x plus 3. So for part A, what we have is we've got perimeter. So we can say that perimeter equals 2 lots of x plus 2 lots of x plus 3. All right, now you can just write the answer straight away in this. That's today everything in my setup is battery low. It's all right. I'll see what we can end up with this. So what we got is 2 times x. That's going to be 2x. And then we're going to expand the brackets out. So 2 times x is 2x. And then 2 times 3 is 6. All right. So add them up together. We get 4x plus 6. I'm not sure why it's laggy Hasnulla because I'm actually on wired connection at the moment. It's not even on... what is my speed rate? Yeah, I'm pretty much at max capacity for speed, so I'm not sure why it's lagging on your end. No, speed is pretty good here. Ah, you guys can't see the working out. Yeah, you're right. Something is happening here. But you guys can hear the... am I right in saying that you guys can actually see the working out? That's interesting. Okay. Give me a second. Let me just have a look. I know that I had this problem last week as well with this, where the working out was not coming. Huh. Ah, technology, eh? Okay, guys, just give me a second. Let me just try and mess around with this and see if this is going to come back. Something has crashed somewhere. No worries, I just got to restart one of the software. Let's just see if that's going to work. Oh, we're back now. What the hell? What's happening here? Yeah, now it's a screenshot of the previous work. Now my screen is, I've completely shut down my screen. So here we go. All right, here we go. We're good to go now. Yep, sorry guys. I don't know why it does that every now and then. It's I guess I am using a very old tablet. It's like 6 years old now. So yeah. Anyway, just kind of leaving. I know I kind of went through that blind, but I just want to double check that if you guys are okay with what I've actually done there with the question. Just, as usual, if you guys have any questions, just put it in the comment section, and I can just kind of go through and help you guys out. So that's pretty much the first part of it, the perimeter part of it. Perimeter is just adding up all your sides together. And over the last kind of couple of years, they don't give you guys simple shapes like this. They give you like weird L-shaped kind of questions, which we'll do later on in this session today. So if we're okay with the perimeter, how I found the perimeter, then we can actually move on. Okay, so Malika, just real quickly, I'm going to use a different highlighter here just so you can actually see. So what we've got is we're trying to find the perimeter. So if we're trying to find the perimeter, what we're doing is we're basically starting from one corner of this shape, and we are going around and taking all those four items, or the four lengths, and we're going to add it all up together. All right, so that's what we're trying to do here. And if you notice, what I've actually done here is, all I've done here is the x, there is the x there, and we've got two lots of x, so that's why it's 2 times x. Then we've got x plus 3 and x plus 3, which is two lots of x plus 3. So that ends up being there. All right, then it's just a matter of simple expanding, and we put it all together. All right, so I'm assuming we're okay with it, and we can move on to the area. So when we get to part A, we're still trying to work out what the area is. Now remember that area is actually equal to base times height. So if area is base times height, in this particular rectangle, the green colored x is the base, and the blue colored is the height. So what we have got here is area is equal to base, which is x, multiplied by h, which is x plus 3. So once we got that, what we need to do is, once again, we need to expand. So we got x times x, which is x squared, and then x times 3 is 3x. So that is basically our simple. So one thing that you guys got to remember is, especially when you're dealing with quadratics at level 1, it's really important that you simplify your quadratics, all right? Now I know it's pretty ridiculous in terms of how they ping you for it, but it's really important that you guys simplify your quadratic. So what I'm talking about is when you have a quadratic like this, where you go x plus 3 times x plus 7, for example, you would go x squared plus 7x plus 3x plus 21. Don't leave your answer like this. Simplify this part here. So you need to simplify this to x squared plus 10x plus 21, because if you don't simplify it, then they can actually ping you for a mark for it. Okay, so we'll do a little bit more of that later on. Okay, so I'm assuming that everybody's okay with part A and part B, where I've just worked out the perimeter and area. And if we are, just give me one thumb up or move along, and I can go get started on part B. Cool. Okay, 3 ups, that's good enough for me. So part B, what's happening is they're asking us to find x if the area is 28. Now, again, this part here, when I look at the numbers, I've actually given you guys really nice numbers to work with. Now, straight away, if you've been kind of messing around, like you're confident with your times tables, then you can kind of see that if the area is 28 units, then we can kind of say it's going to be, well, we can actually break it down, right? We can go 28 is equal to 2 times 14. 28 is also 4 times 7, or 1 times 28. Now, if you look at the difference here between the base and the height is actually 3 more than the base. So straight away, we know that the answer that we're looking for is 4 and 7. All right? So we know that x is actually equal to 4. Okay? So we know that. I mean, the reason we know that is because they're like fairly easy numbers to work with. And we can kind of see that, I'm trying to use a nice little color here, but it doesn't matter. So we can kind of see that the base is going to be 4. So if you just write your answer straight away for B, if you write your answer like this, x is equal to 4, then I will tell you this right now, you are going to get, you will not get any grades for that. Okay? Because I think what you're doing is you're guessing and checking, and therefore there's only, I think, one guess and check allowed. And I think that this is not the one that you'd want to be wasting your guess and check for. So how do we actually set up this equation, and how do we actually solve this? So what it's telling us is that the area is equal to 28. But we also know that area equals base times height. Now, remember that these two parts are connected. So in other words, what we can say is because area is equal to base times height, which is equal to x squared plus 3x, what we can then say is because your area is 28, we can actually put the 28 in front here. Because we know that the formula for this particular rectangle is x squared plus 3x. And if the area equals 28, then we can say 28 equals x squared plus 3x. All right, now this is what you call setting up a quadratic equation. And now you just need to rearrange it so one of the sides is equal to 0. So if I leave the 28, move the 28 to the other side, I'm going to get x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals to 0. So at this point, what we've done is we've actually set up a quadratic equation. So what we need to do now is we just need to solve this quadratic equation. So we can kind of see that there's two numbers here. So we can actually say 0 is equal to, what do we got? We're going to factorize this quadratic. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 28 and also add up to positive 3. So in this case, we're going to get x plus 7 and x minus 4. Now once we get that, what we're going to do is we're going to put each of those brackets equal to 0. So Alex, that is pretty much how you solve a quadratic equation. If you want to solve a quadratic equation, one of your sides has to equal to 0. And the reason one of the sides is equal to 0 is because what we're going to do here is, if you think about this, we're going to have this yellow bracket here, and we've got a blue bracket here. Now both of these brackets, when they multiply, it's equal to 0. So that means one of these colored brackets has to equal 0. And I think great, it's crashed again. Why are you crashing? Yeah, I can see that you guys can't actually see the colors. Give me a second, guys. Why, mate? Why? Oh, now it's working. What is happening to this thing? NDI converter is crashing. Okay, let's try that again. Here we go. Yeah, so sorry, who was this? I was talking to Alex and Kaichi. Kaichi actually kind of mentioned it. But Alex, as I mentioned, when you take a quadratic, you're going to factorize it. You're going to have two factors, which means you're going to have like, nah, Snilla, this is a very, very old tablet that I'm using right now. I mean, my computer is pretty fast, but the that tablet that I'm using is like almost 6 years old. So it's on its final legs at the moment. Anyway, look, let's go through. Yep, that's fine too, Fatima. You can do that. It's the same thing. Because remember, with a quadratic, and I know sometimes people get worried about it, because it's like this. Remember, if you can actually say 5 is equal to 3 plus 2, but it's the same thing as saying 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. So there's nothing wrong with how you actually arrange it. So Fatima, you could do that as well. That's not a problem. Cool. So what we now have is we've got these two brackets and they're multiplying to equal to 0, which means one of them has to equal to 0. So we got x plus 7 equals to 0 or x minus 4 equals to 0. Now in your first situation, you've got x is equal to minus 7. And in your second situation, you've got x equals to 4. Now this is the part it's really important. We actually have to say x is equal to 4 as x can't be a negative number. All right. So remember, in this case, we've got a length. Like if you look at our rectangle has a base of x. Now, if it's x, it has to be what do you call it? It has to be a positive number, and it cannot be. It can't actually be a negative number. So that's something that you do there. So this, I think, like, because you've got an area here and you've got a formula and you're going to try and work it out, you are going to you're going to actually get a merit for this particular question. All right, so yeah, so that's basically it. Any questions on that, guys, so far? And I will give you guys another question very similar to that. So let me know if you're okay with it, and if you're okay with it, I will give you a question very similar to that. Otherwise, I can go through some parts again. Geometry tutorials are sometime more towards the end of the year, man, closer to the end of the year. Okay, so I'm assuming you guys are good. I'm gonna go to the second question. This is just serious? Are you kidding me? Yep, this is what lost battery power. Cool. Second question, I'll put it up, and I'm going to leave you guys with that second question while my battery gets charged. This is ridiculous. What a day. I've got everything running out of battery and crashing. Okay. Have a go with that question, guys. So I want you guys to find out the perimeter. I want you guys to find out the area, and then find out x if the area equals 18. Daniel, we will do a weird shape. Don't trust me on this. The weird shape is coming question number 3. But before we do the weird shape, there's one other question that we need to do, which kind of helps out with the ugly quadratic equations. So let's just try this one first. This is question number 2. I'll leave question 1 there for you guys to have a look at. Let me just make that a little bit bigger so you guys can actually have a look at some of the working that I've done, and you can kind of follow the pattern there. How's our sound going, guys? Is everything all right? Oh yeah, no, I can hear myself. Oh God. All right, guys. I'll make sure I have everything charged up tomorrow. This was kind of like a last minute rush. Cool. Let's actually go through this question here. And again, if my mic does cut out, just kind of start saying something in the chat. Okay, so what do we got? We're going to this question here. We're going to work out what the perimeter is first. So to work out the perimeter, just remember that what we're doing is basically starting from one point, and then we're literally going all the way around and adding up all the values that we see. So still working, or is it still playing up? God damn, this is frustrating. No, it's working again. What the hell, man? That's all right. We'll go through this question, yeah? Let's fingers crossed the battery lasts till the end of this next two questions. Okay, so perimeter, we've got 2 times x minus 3 plus 2 times x plus 4. And the reason is because remember, you've got an x plus 4 at the top, and then you've got x minus 3 to the left. So we expand the brackets out, which means we're going to get 2 times x, which is 2x. 2 times negative 3 is minus 6. Then we've got 2 times x, which is 2x. 2 times 4, which happens to be 8. Combining all of this, we're going to get 4x plus 2. So that's what I'm looking for. Perimeter. Oh, wow. Everything is going to go nuts today, isn't it? I need a new laptop. I just need a new laptop, right on laptop. I need to do it like a fundraiser or something. God. Either it's the mic today or my stream. I'm still here, just trying to work this out. Why won't you refresh? What's happening? I really need a new machine. Here we go. Something's happening. Why are you freezing? Not having fun today, folks, with this. I think I'll see how I go. If not, I might just need to do a whole... No, we're back on. Look, I'll try my best, guys, today to kind of go through with it. I'm going to persevere. I don't usually give up that easily. So here we go. And then what I'll do is I will have a few tinker around with my settings tomorrow. Yep. Cool. So anyway, let's have a look at this. Perimeter is all good to go. We're going to do the area next. Yeah, we're good to go with the writing. Area is equal to base times height. So in this case, we've got base, which is... how did you get 4x minus 2? Got to be 4x plus 2. So base is x, and then our height happens to be x minus 3. So we're going to expand, put those two numbers in. So x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 3. Expand the brackets. So we've got x times x, which is x squared. X times minus 3 is negative 3x. 4 times x is 4x. And finally, 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. All right, so once we get all of that, what we then have to do is simplify it. So we're going to get x squared plus 1x minus 12 is what we're doing. I'm hoping I've done that right. In the mad rush, I might. No, that looks all good so far. Cool. Now it says find the area if x, find the x if area equals to 18. So then I'm going to put down area is equal to 18. And because area equals 18, I could say x squared plus x minus 12 equals 18. And I need to rearrange this. So I'm going to get x squared plus x minus 12. When I bring the 18 to the left-hand side, it is minus 18. And now that's all equal to 0. So simplifying this, I've got x squared plus x minus 30 equals to 0. So once we have that, once again, we are going to factorize this. When we factorize this, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 30 and add up to positive 1. So we've got plus 6 minus 5. So I'm going to kind of work out over here. So then we can say that x plus 6 equals to 0, or x minus 5 equals to 0. So in our first case, we've got x equals negative 6. And in our second case, we've got x is equal to positive 5. So at this point, we kind of need to mention what is x. So we have to say that x is equal to 5, as x can't be a negative number. All right. Yeah, I don't think x can be 2, Daniel, because if we actually put x as 2, then you're going to get 2 plus 4 here, which is 6. 2 minus 3 equals to negative 1, and you cannot have a... Oh, right, I see your mistake, sorry. Yeah, you did a negative 18 by accident. Okay, that's all right. So, yeah, fairly kind of like a standard question. Yeah, Alex, my like this tablet is I've been using for a while, man, and I just haven't had the well budget to go buy a new one. Just this one I got for free a while ago, so yeah, can't really justify. Anyway, any questions on this? Can we move on to the next question? Because I've only got two more questions for you guys, unless you guys want to try that trickier question straight away, because I do think that you guys do need to know quadratic equations where the a value is bigger than 1. So I think, what mark would this get you if you pass this? Malika, if you do this particular question, I think this will most likely be a merit question. No, x cannot equal to 6, because if you go 6 plus 4, you're going to get 10. And 6 minus 3 is 3, so 10 times 3 is 30, so it won't actually work. Now, I know you guys wanted the L-shaped question, but before doing the L-shaped question, there's one more question that you guys need to do. And then we can actually go to the L-shaped question, which ends up being the excellence questions, all right? So I'm going to give you guys one more, and then we'll do this one really quickly. So I'm not going to ask you guys to work out, I'm not going to ask you guys to find the perimeter area. We're just going to go straight to the question itself. So basically what we've got here is something like this: 2x plus 1, x minus 2, and I'm going to say find x if area equals, let me just get a calculator because I need to, what am I going to say? I need to give you some numbers that actually work, because the last thing that I want to do is not give you numbers that do not work. Okay, let's try this one here. So basically what I've got here is I've got the rectangle x minus 2 and 2x plus 1, and I'm going to ask you guys to find out x if the area equals 18. And like I said before, like the previous questions that we've been kind of doing is borderline merit question. Now these type of questions that we're doing at question 3, this is kind of like your foundation low excellence kind of like, I don't know, I think they might have actually changed it a bit. This might be like a good merit question, and then we'll go to the L-shaped one, which ends up being an excellent. How much do you think I would need to study for this paper? Joshua, it depends on what grade you want to get, but if anything I can recommend you is go to this particular link that I've just posted on the chat. Go check it out. All the revision that you need for level 1 MCAT is there. So this one is a little bit more, well, it's not tricky, it's just a little bit more harder quadratic, but if you get this one, then you end up, we can actually doing that L-shaped question. Alex, what I've shared with you in that link, if you go to, there's a playlist with like close to 147 questions. There's like heaps of worded questions there for you guys to kind of practice on. So people that have been sending me questions. So if you got questions, send them. And when I get some time, I'll try and do a couple of viewer questions. Okay, so because I'm going to rush as well, because I realize it's like 8:45, and well, I know that most people don't have much to do, but like still, some people would like to go to sleep. So let's actually go through this question here. Arjun, look, man, like there's lots of books out there. Like you've got your EAS books, you've got D&D books, and then you've got Walker Maths books as well. So they're all good. Each of them are good in different ways. Ultimately, you got to find out what works for you, because sometimes the EAS books might be too hard, and sometimes, you know, like it really depends on what you are trying to gain. I mean, if you're trying to get an excellence, I would say try and get a hold of like all of those books and try and work through them. But if you're trying to get like a achieved merit, yeah, like EAS can actually, the answers are not as, I don't know if they might have changed it, but I know that back in the day they kind of just went straight to the answers. Oh, thanks Falcon for the shout out, appreciate it. All right, so let's go through this question here. So what we got is we're going to ask to find, you know, we got to first get the equation of the area. So we know that area is equal to base times height. So again, some of you might be thinking, geez, I got no idea how to start this question. But what you do know is you also know the area equation of a rectangle. So just doing that and expanding, you're going to get an achieved for it, all right? So that's why what I mean by is whenever you see these types of questions, try and attempt it, because you'd be surprised at what you end up getting an achieved for. So in this case, we've got this quadratic, so I'm going to multiply it out. I've got 2x squared minus 4x, 1 times x, which is 1x, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Simplifying this, I'm going to get 2x squared minus 3x minus 2. Now this part right here should get you an achieved straight away. Now we're finding x if area equals to 18. So we're going to go 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equals to 18. Joe, it's different every year, man. Like some years they put like 6 questions. Some years they actually put down more questions as more. It just depends on the year. So it's really, we can't really say for sure. Generally speaking, you know, you try and aim for like 7 or 8, like 6 or 7 excellence questions. That's fairly, should be all right. Okay, so how do we go about solving this type of quadratic equation? Now, again, I'm going to tell you guys this. If you haven't done this type of quadratic equation, it's slightly a bit more work, but you can actually go through, what do we call it? If you know the quadratic formula, you can use the quadratic formula. If not, go through the video playlist I'll put up, and there's some skills solving quadratic equations when a value is not 1. So have a look through that. But anyway, let's go through this. So we've got 2x squared minus 3x minus 2, and I'm going to bring that 18 over, which makes it minus 18. All of this is equal to 0. So then we've got 2x squared minus 3x minus 20 equals to 0. Now at this point, this is where things, yeah, like see Fusion asking me what's the quadratic formula. At level 2, you get introduced this quadratic formula, which you can use. Now you can actually use the quadratic formula in MCAT, and it's you know, it's fine, because As long as you show up to this working and you use the quadratic formula, and if you've seen it before, you can use it. Now, in this case, I'm going to show you guys another method. Now, this is a bit of an algorithm. It's a bit annoying. Some people like it. Some people don't like it. Some people like to guess and check. Whatever. As long as you put the two brackets, like what you're going to end up with is something like this, where two brackets is equal to 0. Now, going from here to here, theoretically, you don't need to show any kind of working for it, all right? If you are those type of people that go, oh yeah, I can see the numbers and I know what numbers to put in there, so it can kind of make sense. Sometimes, you know, if you're stuck in this, you can guess and check. But there's also an algorithm to do that, so check it out later. But otherwise, I'm just going to do the algorithm here on the side because it's just a little bit of work, but you know, it kind of makes sense later on. So what we first do as our first step is that we actually take the 2, multiply it with negative 20 to get negative 40. Now the second step after that is we are looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 40 and add up to negative 3. Just to clarify, the negative 3 is actually from there, and the 40 is these two things. The negative 40 is from here. All right, so we're looking for two numbers that do that. So in this case, it's going to be negative 8 and positive 5. And so what I'm really going to be doing is I'm going to be replacing the negative 3 with negative 8 and positive 5. So in other words, I'm going to rewrite this as 2x squared minus 8x plus 5x minus 20. So all I've done is that negative 8 and positive 5 ends up being here. Carry on. The next step is kind of breaking them into two parts. So I'm going to break this first part here, and I can see that 2x is a common factor. So this is x minus 4, and then here 5 is a common factor, x minus 4. Now at this point, I can see that x minus 4 is a common factor. So I've got 2x plus 5 and x minus 4. Now just to clarify, 2x is from here, 5 is from there to there. So at this point, what I've got here is I've got my two brackets. So I've got 2x plus 5 and x minus 4 equals to 0. So my next step is to say 2x plus 5 equals to 0, or x minus 4 equals to 0. So in my first case, I've got 2x is equal to minus 5, because when I take the 5 to the other side, it becomes minus. And then x is equal to negative 5 divided by 2. As for the second case, I've got x is equal to positive 4. So in this case, I can straight away say, therefore, x is equal to 4, as x can't be negative. So I'm going to leave that up there for you guys just to kind of have a look through it. And if there's any questions on that, just drop it on the chat and I'll try and help you guys out. Yep, there is, Arjun, there is another way which you can actually guess. You can actually guess and check as well if you want to, just to see if it actually works out. Or the other method is, or the other method is to actually learn how to use the quadratic formula, which I've got some videos up as well. So if you go and look at my channel, you're going to find it. Ah, damn it, I got to do a triangle one. And then the L-shaped one. Okay, guys, look, what I'm going to do is this. I'm actually going to I'm going to pause. I'm actually going to stop the questions there because I know we've been kind of going through for 50 minutes, and I'm just checking my battery on my headphones and my thing, and which is the other device that I'm connected to, is running out of it. So I'll get everything sorted out for our next session, and we'll kind of continue with this on Thursday. Thursday, we'll continue with the last two questions, all right? Is there a way to turn a negative numerator into a positive? Rings a bell, Ben. No worries, Fusion. Yeah. Yeah, guys. I think we'll call it a day for now, but we will come back on Thursday and we'll continue with these two questions if somebody just reminds me. We'll do the same time, Malika. We'll do 8 p.m. I'll check tomorrow night just to see what my schedule is like. In the sense where normally I would yeah, I'd be doing something else, but no worries, Hasnullah. It's glad to help. Just don't want to forget the stuff because I don't teach it anymore. Is there a way to turn negative numerator into a positive? Daniel, so what you're talking about is something like this. Negative numerator into a positive? Well, the only way you would do this is 4 out of 5 times -1. That's another way you could turn it. Or you could rewrite, yeah, well, that's Adrena Palmer. Yes, we will be doing it. I think it's coming very, like what I tend to do is like I do section by section. And I think coming up next after that is solving. So we do solving next. And then after solving, we do quadratic inequations. Then we do simultaneous equations. So it'll probably be coming up very shortly. But if you do want to do simultaneous equations, just look up this title on my channel for simultaneous equations. Just search this up on YouTube and you should find it. I think. Let me just double check. Does it come? Does it come? 24th of August. Bloody hell, it doesn't come. What did I call them, these things as? Let me just check. Hang on, give me a second. All right, okay, so that's fifth one. Hang on, I'm just trying to find. I don't know where I put all these tutorials. I'm sure I did more than that. Oh, I stopped adding them. Ah, bugger. Okay, leave that with me, Adrena. I will actually sort out my playlist because I think I've stopped adding videos to that playlist, but I'll find out and sort it out. All right, guys. So that's it for now. Actually, give me a second, Palmer. Let me just see if I can find it. The title is going to be something like this. Hang on, I got the title now. 24th of August is when I did it. Yeah, got it. Hang on, I'm just going to share this to you, Adriana. Where's my share button? Okay, so no, camera hasn't died. Still here. Try that for simultaneous equations, yeah? Is it that? Yeah, cool. So guys, I will update that list. I just checked it out. That playlist is kind of out of date. There's like almost, how do I say it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos that's not actually in that playlist. I will update it, and you guys should be good to go. Those are like all of last year's tutorials. Still handy for you, so you can just go through them, and it's pretty much kind of like the same stuff that we're doing this time around. Cool, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I will catch you guys on Thursday. As always, just kind of pass this around. So there's a lot of year 11s right now probably panicking even more, considering that we've got a lockdown happening at the moment. So please feel free to share. Let your mates know that this is something that will be happening pretty much every. I'm trying to go for 3 days a week leading up to the MCAT. All right. Till then, I will see you guys on Thursday. Look after yourself and stay home, people. Oh, if you have any questions, always send a message to my email and I'll happily answer now that I got a bit more time. Cool, guys. See you Thursday.